Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of the Vancouver Sevens, and it is the big one, the final. South Africa taking on Spain. Now, I don't think many would have predicted for the Spanish to be through to the final of this competition. Definitely not when you look at who they had to face in the semi-finals, but they are here, and they have an even tougher test now up against this Blitzboks side. Looking through at the starting lineups for a start. For the South Africans, it is Ryan Oosthuizen, David Brits, MP Vesa, the captain, Sebastian Job, Tristan Lades, Shilton van Wyk, and also Ronald Brown. So consistency, something that they are building in terms of these starting lineups. The only real change is Oosthuizen into the starting side, but that was actually due to more so an injury for Christy Robelaar rather than anything else. For the Spanish, it is Manu Moreno, Angel Bozil, Joseph Ceres, Paul Pla, Jeremy Trevathick, Jamie Manteca, and also Eduardo Lopez. Now, Lopez had an absolute field day up against the Fijians. He was finding gaps in the defence that Fiji didn't even realise they had, but he has to do the same thing here. So as much of a final as that one would have felt like for Spain, they still have the final right now up against this tough Fijian outfit. In the comments, we have got hello, says Hannah, welcome in. It's great to have you here for this one. I know that it is a late night for you guys in South Africa. So once again, 2:30 a.m. It is absolutely awesome to have you all tuning in. Also, welcome to those who are watching this live stream later on when you have woken up in South Africa. Do let me know, of course, what time it is that you are watching in the future. But we have got there, come on the Blitzboks. If we win this, do we get to go top to the series standings? Kind of. But it depends on differential a little bit. So what is going to happen here if Fiji, because they got the bronze, South Africa get first, they will be on the same points. I think Fiji's points differential may still take them that little bit higher above of the South Africans. Not by a massive margin though. So it does mean theoretically, best case scenario, Fiji and South Africa can go into the same points heading into the final leg of the Sevens circuit. And what it brings in their number one spot is immunity to the relegation zone. So that is exactly what both sides will be chasing heading into next week. South Africa in there as well. So quite a few people going for the Blitzboks in this contest. Just looking through at recent form. Now, because we've had a little bit of a break since the last contest, I have had time to get some pop-ups. So ladies and gentlemen, these are the matches that South Africa have played. We don't have these too much for the Sevens just because of the quick nature of back-to-back-to-back games. But we've got them here for the final, so we might as well use them as well. 21 points to 5, the win over Great Britain in their first match of Pool A. Second game up against the Spanish side that they now face off with in the final. It was 28 points to 7. Now, Fiji versus Australia was also a rematch, and both games went in very similar fashion. So if that is anything to go by, that would mean that that scoreline between South Africa and Spain could also be on the cards heading into this matchup. The third game was up against New Zealand, and the Kiwis missing out on the opportunity of going through to the next stage due to Spain doing very nicely throughout the group, getting the win over New Zealand early. But South Africa booking their spot. These two sides have met before and they will now meet again. And Spain still yet to taste that gold medal in the semi-finals. South Africa 19 points to 12 win over the Australians. I said it at the time, and the more that I look back at that match, because I decided to rewatch it in the gap, They did get a decent rub of the green in that contest. I still think they would have narrowly beaten Australia had that not been the case. But it'll be interesting to see whether or not the referee is the same as that one in that contest. Because if so, and if it goes the same way, South Africa should have a very good chance, either way, of still making their way through and winning this match. For the Spanish, they were able to beat the Fijians in that semi-final, 24 points to 17. Fiji started extremely slow. Spain found themselves up by 3 tries, as Fiji normally do. They fought back, but not quite enough to be able to get the job done. 3 matches in the group stage, 2 of which were victories for Spain. First one up against New Zealand, 12 points to 10. And then that third game up against Great Britain, 10 points to 0. So, the situation is just about to take place. This final, we get to see these two sides go head-to-head one more time. Spain have never won a gold medal on the Sevens circuit. South Africa have won many, but they would like to win the overall season and get themselves that immunity to the relegation zone. Next week, we have got Go South Africa. We got you with the South African flags there from Unva. Let's go the Blitzboks. Have to say, Spain has laid down the rubber in this tournament. Most impressed with them. Thanks for doing this live stream. We are out yachting in the Caribbean and listening in. Oh, hopefully the weather's nice for you, Alan, and yeah, having a great time. It's actually pretty incredible the amount of different locations we cover on these live streams. But yeah, it is hopefully going to be a great match between these two sides. The Blitzboks do come in as favourite. Spain had some great moments last season, and I think that the return of Paul Pla has been absolutely massive for them. Since he made his way back in, Spain look like a side that can beat some of the greats of this competition, and maybe this game isn't going to be as one-sided as first anticipated, but we do see South Africa have made their way onto the field, looking determined as ever for the Blitzboks. They will know what they need to do here. They have to get the victory if they want to go into the point standings, tied up with Fiji, heading into next week. But we have got the national anthems, and then this match will be underway between these two sides. Anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We have got another match just around the corner. That is going to be the contest between Australia and New Zealand. Once again, the women's final, the same two sides going head to head. And the points implications on that side of the draw also very intriguing. We do see there Christy Hrobela. He is lining up with the South African side. He was ruled out earlier on in this competition with a knee injury by the looks of it, with the size of the brace on that left leg. But the thing is, I don't think we get out of this game with someone not picking up some sort of injury. I've mentioned about it the whole way through. Yes, it's great that it's in Vancouver, but this type of turf can be absolutely brutal for ankles and knees. We've seen many players suffering little injuries along the way. Jeremiah Matana, in the most recent game for the Fijians, also suffering that injury. But Selvin David, back from a little bit of a layoff for the Blitzboks. He returns now and gets to sing their national anthem straight off the bat, which tells you just how good this Blitzboks side are. Capito, one of the younger players in this South African setup. We look through at the other men off the bench. Grant Diacha, this is his first taste of a final, and could be one of many for that young South African talent. But of course, do let me know your score predictions for this contest, ladies and gentlemen. Who do you think will get themselves the victory? Is it going to be one-sided like the match we saw in the group stage? Or is Spain going to come out firing like they did up against Fiji and give us a final to remember in Vancouver? We've got to remember the defending champions of this competition is actually Argentina. And they are nowhere to be seen. They didn't even make it in through to the semi-finals. That was due to how competitive of a group they found themselves in, with Australia, France, and also Fiji in that group stage. Agree, the synthetic turf in that indoor stadium is tough to play in. Shoulder injuries and rib fractures common too. Yeah, that's true. When the shoulder goes down and it's almost a little bit strange, isn't it? Because it grips in a way that the players aren't used to. Normally what happens when you're on regular grass is if you end up digging in with your foot or something, normally it will rip away and you can kind of brace a little bit for that impact, whereas on synthetic, you just pretty much brace and then it grips and then you snap. It's about the gist of it. But if we can get out of this tournament with only about maybe 5 to 10 injuries across all the teams, I'd say they've done pretty well. New Zealand have lost Braxton Sorensen McGee, Jasmine Felix Otham, and one other player as well due to injury on this turf. Like, I get that Vancouver is a great location for it, but I think they've got to do something about it. The fact that all the players have to wear all of that tape over their knees and elbows as well just to be able to play on this surface should tell everyone exactly what they need to know about this type of grass. And South Africa says Ravnell there. South Africa 24 points to the 19, says Anvis, are going with a close game. In that regard, the Spanish team, have they played their final up against Fiji, or have they found their next gear to carry them through this matchup? But the Spanish national anthem, I won't say it's been sung because there was not a single word of it, but they have never won a cup final. Is this now their time? One-sided in the cricket this morning, wishing the final could have been at least a bit closer. Says still too fast. I think a lot of people were, but India were great on the day, and New Zealand just, yeah, they didn't quite get going. But like, that's the thing. It's always going to be tough, that match, going into enemy territory per se. 130,000 in attendance. I'd say about 5 of those people were going for New Zealand. The rest were going for India. And New Zealand learned a big lesson from that final. But the two sides are ready to go. Spain are in a huddle on the halfway line, showing cohesion as a unit. That is what this side have always been about, with Paul Pla at the helm, trying to turn this young group of athletes into champions for the Blitzboks. They have shown time and time again that they don't just need to be turned into champions, they are. And they have been for quite some time. They've found some real success under Sneyman. And this is another chapter in this Blitzboks lineup story. Paul Pla ready to go for this contest. Spain kicking off from left to right. Hope you guys are as excited as I am. This has been a long time coming. It's about our 24th live stream of the weekend or something ridiculous like that. But I'm happy that it is sevens. And I'm happy this match is just now underway. Spain kicking off from left to right. And we are underway. And at this contest, nice take from Shilton van Wyk. I will mention Peter Martin, the referee in charge of this one. Rush defense there from Spain. Joseph Ceres putting pressure on Tristan Lades, who's trying to get his knee down. It is cold as a maul, and that one's going nowhere. Spain tie him up. For now, it should almost become Spain ball, and it does. Tristan Lades trying his best to get that knee down, but the strength of Eduardo Lopez, that man is very much so an X-Factor player here for Spain. They are just showing here Spain have been in 2 cup finals throughout their whole history. This is the 3rd. They have never won one. We have got there, Spain have played super well, are in the medals now. However, my money is on the box to take this. It's going to be closer than we anticipate, says Alan. And it would be great for the Spanish if it is a lot closer. You know, if this game, for instance, is like that group stage fixture and it's 28-7 or something like that, I feel like that kind of discredits Spain's run to this stage. But to be able to be competitive and maybe even strike first up against the Blitzboks, the side with the best defence on the whole circuit, although one of the best try scorers on the circuit there, Trevor Thick, had the ball in hand. Mantika tries to go for the grubber. That one, just touches the sideline. Looks like the Blitzboks are going to try and take this line out quickly, and they do so in their in-goal area, kicking it way downfield, and now it becomes a foot race. Although, awkward bouncing ball, it goes into touch, well covered by Paul Pla. Line out for Spain, about 45 metres out from the South African line. South Africa have won each of their past 3 cup finals played, so they're on quite a streak when they make it this far. But the big goal and the big task is getting this far to begin with. Now, going across to the right-hand side, Jamie Manteca, Eduardo Lopez. Big Fen thought about offloading it to Manteca, decides against it. It might have been a wrong move there. Yes, it was. As South Africa get in the breakdown, Shilton van Wyk decides to take it quickly, going to the short side to Ryan Oosterhuizen, running down the wing. He's not normally known for his pace, but he's got a bit of it today. And he flies into the corner and scores the first try for the South Africans. Almost had his knee buckle as he did score the try, Oosterhuizen. But the Blitzboks get on the board early. And at this final, and again, it's the danger of the counter-attack. Shilton van Wyk, they thought about the offload there. Lopez delayed it, didn't give it to Manteca, and South Africa make them pay for it as Oosterhuizen throws back the gears and gets that little bit of speed going down the wing to be able to outrun the Spanish defensive line. The South Africans in the stands loving that one. This kick before just goes away to the right-hand side. That is going to keep the score sitting at 5-0 now in favour of the South Africans. 3 minutes have passed in this first half. Getting off to a great start again here, the Blitzboks. Although the misconversion, it could be something that does cost them in the end. We'll have to wait and see, but it's kicked off high by South Africa. Going up for the ball. Nice take from Manu Moreno. Has Impiveza all over him. Going away to the right-hand side, Eduardo Lopez to Jamie Manteca. The Spanish side need to fire back with a try of their own. Jeremy Trevor Thick waiting for the pass on the inside. He has scored a lot of tries on the circuit. Head-on-head collision there between him and Sebastian Yob, but both men were ducking. So it will be play on. Eduardo Lopez back to Paul Pla in the middle of the field. Passes it off. Loose ball picked up by South Africa. Advantage in their favour. Looks like another knee injury. This time it's an Spanish player down. Sebastian Yob scores in the corner, but there is big concern here for another Spanish player falling victim to the turf. As they will go bang, bang here, South Africa, but the Spanish, they are going to lose one of their players now. We're going to see the replay just going for the ball, and Joseph Ceres just getting his leg crushed in between turf and South African. I believe it was Joseph Ceres. Does suffer the injury, but I don't think he's going to be continuing in this game. The injury list is going to be huge after this tournament, and I feel like World Rugby really need to do something about it. That one's going to be kicked over from the sideline as well. Beautiful strike of the ball from the Blitzboks to get it through the middle. And looks like the sub is about to be made, or is it? He looks like he's going to try and continue. He is limping badly, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're leaving the field with Joseph Serres. Another one down. And now 7 on 7 back 2. That's gone out on the full from South Africa. Bit of a mistake there off kick-off. Oh, referee says it bounces in the field of play. I'm sure that was out on the full. Is that not out on the full? We have to see a replay of that one. I don't think they're going to be showing it, though, but it did look like it just bounced nowhere in the field of play. Of course, I would like to be proven wrong. Polpla throws it in. Competitive line out. South Africa get that ball back. Big pressure on Ronald Brown in the breakdown. Ball still on the side of these South Africans. It almost became unplayable. Took a long time to get that ball out. Now moving away to the left-hand side. Puts the grubber in behind on the same page there. The South Africans awkward bouncing ball. Waiting for it to sit up. And Shilton van Wyk. He gets the third try of the contest. This one's a very one-sided affair at the moment. And South Africa celebrating it again with Shilton van Wyk. And that is just classy backline movement with the grubber involved. Pops it in behind and finishes it off. Spain will win. If everyone wants a bet, I will bet on Spain. Says Lux there. How long ago did that come through? That was 3 minutes ago, probably before they conceded the 3 tries, I would say. Blitzboks will win by 5 points, I reckon. Says still too fast. And this is at the moment Spain's worst nightmare. We talked about it, whether or not they played their final up against Fiji. And the reality of it is, it may have been the case. They do need a try before halftime, or else they could find themselves in some real trouble. Now, ball on the side of the Spanish for a second. Managing to play this one with Manu Moreno. And South Africa actually using a tactic that Australia used against them, which is throw a couple men in the breakdown and hope for the best. Something that won the Australians a few penalties along the way up against the South Africans. Definitely near the end of the contest. The Lord anointed 7 will prevail. Go to the box, says Leon. Now running off to the left-hand side. Polpla down the wing. Needed the support. Runner manages to find the offload. Up to the halfway line. Head on head for Shilton van Wyk. Going into the tackle a little bit high. He still wins the penalty though. Must not have had the collision, although he looks like he's feeling it a little bit, Shilton van Wyk, from that head contact. The penalty goes the way of the South Africans. And the call is the scrum from the Blitzboks. You're going to see the replay now. Just Shilton van Wyk getting right back in it. By that stage, he's already had his hand on the ball. The depth of talent of the Blitzboks is showing. 3 tries, 3 different try score as well. There's Allen there. And yeah, it's just you can't buy pace. And you also, I mean, you can try and teach it, but some of these Blitzboks players just have acceleration for days. Shilton van Wyk, perfect example of that. You look at someone like a Tristan Legs, Ronald Brown off the mark, are all world-class athletes. And even Ryan Oosterhuizen showing that little bit of speed that some doubted he had. Oh, that ball rolls out, and they just kick this one into touch for South Africa. Half-time in this fixture, and it is now sitting 17-0. I do want to quickly check, though, because I do want to make sure that I wasn't being too critical. Does this one go out on the full, or does it bounce in the field of play? I'm just going to check it, or else it's going to annoy me for the rest of the day. We're going to see it now. Where does it bounce? Okay, it bounces. It looks like it bounces on the touch line. So I think that normally is ruled as out, but it was probably close enough to being in that it could have been 50-50, in which case they took the line out. That's a little bit better than it being fully out, I will say. But looking through at the benches for these two sides, South Africa have got some insane depth with the fact that they can bring on Selvin Davids, as well as Safewe Soyas-Wapi, DeWalt Human, Gino Cupido, and Grant Diache is also off the bench. Zane Supranga for the Spanish side. He's probably the biggest name off of this bench, and Uria already made his way on due to the early injury that we did see of Joseph Serres. We have got the gift of membership as well. Thank you very much to Hiriam. It is greatly appreciated. I reckon Sasha Feinberg and Zulu would be an amazing Sevens player. Says still too fast. It'd be interesting in a game of Sevens because he's got that little bit of size about him too, but would he be willing to get into those breakdowns the same way that we see these Sevens athletes doing? You know, you look at someone like a Shilton Van Wyk. He isn't the biggest man out there, but he will leave himself in a position which really can get him injured and get him smashed when he just locks over the ball hoping for the best. And don't get me wrong, Sasha in open space would be insane and do extremely well for the Blitzboks side, but would he be able to make those big tackles and get those turnovers in the breakdown? It's the adaptability that you see from Sevens. That's why we see someone like a Quacker Smith, like a Cheslin Colby. Those guys have had those Sevens backgrounds, and it really does show with the way that they put their body on the line in those breakdowns. But second half, just about to get underway. Brian Habana played Sevens and 15s, and he is now an ambassador on the World Sevens circuit, which is fantastic to see, but it is kicked off now for the second half. We are now back underway in this match. For Spain to win, they would have to score in the very near future. And we're talking within the next minute or so. Box defence is on fire, says Ali Wood. They still have the best defensive record out of any side in the whole of the Sevens circuit. They only concede 2.3 in each match. Another penalty going the way of the Blitzboks. Tristan Lades takes it quickly. Offload to Shilton Van Wyk. He will get a double. And this one now, it's only a matter of time. The Blitzboks just counting down the seconds till they become Vancouver Sevens champions. I don't see a way back into this contest for Spain from here. They are too far gone. I know it's early in the second half, but every breakdown, the South Africans have looked like getting the steal. Tristan Lades, the man who manages to win it, takes the quick tap and always on his shoulder, Van Wyk to finish it off for the Blitzboks. Yep, conversion goes straight down the middle for Ronald Brown, making the score now 24-0 in favour of South Africa. Do you know what this is reminding me of, ladies and gentlemen? And this one's still a little bit tender for some New Zealand supporters. This is literally, oh no, another player down. That was actually a tackle that was made earlier on Bozal. But again, this turf has no give in it. And, you know, I hope World Rugby are going to be the ones paying for all these players' injuries. Because it's just almost beyond ridiculous the amount of players who have gone down injured compared to other leagues of the Sevens. And it's no coincidence. It's the type of turf, and Sevens just isn't suited for this artificial grass style. And what I was going to say is it is literally a comparison to what we saw in the Cricket World Cup, ladies and gentlemen. New Zealand beat South Africa in the semi-final, which was their big game. Similar to what we saw for Spain in their semi-final up against Fiji. Then in the final, India versus New Zealand. India win it comfortably. New Zealand played their big match already. Spain are in that same boat. South Africa all over them. Reminds me of the Box versus ABs. Says Leon, I assume you're talking in the 15s rather than in the 7s, right? Or are you talking about the game earlier on in the comp when it was 17-12? Ball goes into the hands of Manu Moreno off the penalty. Now Joseph Ceres working away to the right-hand side. Blitzboks Lecker, says Clint. Going off to the left-hand side here again. Trying to step through that defensive line. Spain, even though they are almost down, they are certainly still fighting to try and get one more try towards that 24. Now running forward, Sains Trapanga. Off to the left-hand side, Vancouver, St. Paul's Hospital emergency room. Might just be busy tonight. Yeah, because it's like, at what stage do you go, okay, this is our 10th injury. Maybe we should look at this and reassess. You know, there are other locations in Canada that they could play this rugby tournament at, I would like to think. But I get that it's BC Place and there's a bit of history on the Sevens circuit, but, you know, there's all this stuff now about player safety and player welfare. Well, this isn't doing anyone's knees any good playing on the surface. Joseph Ceres breaking on the outside. Away to Jeremy Trevithick. It will be the first try of the match for Spain. They will need 4 more if they want to go on and win. Or, in fact, they would just need some conversions, as South Africa have missed a couple throughout this contest so far. But they are on the scoreboard. Looks much better than a 0 next to the name for Spain. An important kick just to keep on adding the additional points. And that one has missed away to the side. Eduardo Lopez, though, getting through the tackle attempt. And then Jeremy Trevithick, he's currently sitting second in the overall standings for tries scored on the Sevens circuit. See another player coming off. Luckily not with too much of a limp there for Eduardo Lopez, but that is a big change We see Jamie Manteka also has made his way off. Kicked off short by Spain, knowing that they have to retain, but it is taken there by Sebastian Job. Gets a bit of acceleration going. Beautiful offload. Capito will score again. Oh, is he all right? Yes, he is. See, every time someone has a little slight stutter step, you think that they're going to go down with a hamstring or something, but it is a great try between the posts for Capito, the youngster. 31 points to 5 now. The score with 3 to go. And again, we're back into that stage of only a matter of time. Blitzboks side, they will be sitting, I believe, on the same points as Fiji now. Heading into the final competition, that brings a lot of excitement. At least we deliver in rugby. Seven, I assume that's reference to the Proteas, right? I think that was the last time that we did have you on the channel for. And or for the next Blitzboks try, I dare you to do 6-7. I couldn't. I leave that to Shilton Funvake. He does it as a celebration. I think Te Reo Vailawa does as well. This pitch is 144p quality. Yet, I don't understand why they still play on this type of turf. Because it happens every year. I just like how they can waste time after getting past the goal line. Says Kiwi Rob. Well, the way to fix that is to just stop them from doing so. By running up and catching them. But speaking of catching, I don't think they're going to be able to catch the Spanish man who runs the full length of the field and scores the try too. Spain get another. A little bit too little too late. This kick should be nice and simple though. But a full length field try for, I believe that was Anso. Made his way off the bench earlier on. And oh my Fiji, never mind, next time. Says Azeta. Well, the good news for Fiji is they still got third though. And it could have been much worse. They could have finished lower down, in which case they would have been further behind. But it pretty much comes down to whoever gets higher in the rankings between South Africa and Fiji for the next competition. Well, they will be immune to the, the relegation zone. Or just travels the 10 metres. Bit of a slip there. See, it's a weird one, this turf, because you can slip over just as easy as you can have your foot grip and not let you change direction in a hurry. Wide cutout pass from the box. Now Saviwe Suez Wape, tackled low by Spain, 22 metres out from their own line. Diacha trying to cut back in, was almost held, and in fact he does get the penalty. Quick tap taken by Spain. 1 minute left on the clock. Not enough time to win this game, but still enough time to get another one. Saint Strapanga. Offload there. Interception was on the cards, but it's gone up. Nicely done by Spain for now, but it sits up perfectly for Impivisa. They are asking for the penalty, Spain, but they are asking a question that will not have an answer. The only answer is this try of Impivisa. There, his legs, they're all right. And another try there for the Blitzboks. It just seems like players are finding it extremely difficult to pull up as well when they want to slow down. They just seem to be very unnimble on those knees. Vanaka consoling. Says Azeta there. No, I think they should be a timer, how long they have. How long would you say though? Like 5 seconds, 10 seconds? How long you go? Most of the time a player does get up to them by then. It's only normally a few seconds extra that they do lose. Langford, British Columbia, has an outdoor rugby stadium that only seats 6,000 fans. It's in Vancouver Island, near the capital city of Victoria. Not enough capacity, says Alan. Yeah, although I'd like to know how many they've got in attendance for this one. Because what stadium have I got next to me here? I feel like we've had it at that stadium, but that might have been in the US maybe, or maybe that was the Spanish stadium. I can't remember the one to my side. I wonder if it's got a name that I can see. It doesn't. It just has a whole heap of numbers as its name. Because I feel like we've had a different location that wasn't BC Place. All forward pass there. And that will be the end of this final. And South Africa win it. They will be the champions of the men's sevens. And they've done it convincingly with a brilliant win over this Spain side. But they keep their hopes alive of winning the whole competition now. Why sleep if you can earn, says Casper. And Hamish, don't you ever sleep, says Daryl. I haven't got a lot of sleep recently, no. I think my last sleep that was more than like 2 hours would have been Friday night. What day are we now? We're like Monday, aren't we? I don't even want to do the maths on how many hours I've been awake for compared to how many hours I've slept. because it's probably about as far from a doctor's recommendation as you can get. But we've only got the one game left. That is going to be Australia versus New Zealand in the women's final. And that is coming just around the corner. Where's the New York Sevens? It is next week. So we will get to see these sides in action once more. And South Africa says Bavesh. And the good news about the back-to-back legs of the Sevens is you get to find out the draw pretty quickly afterwards. So we will know exactly who is in what group near the end of the comp. We have got cheers for the live commentary. Most appreciated. A resounding Blitzboks victory. The South Africans in Vancouver will be partying tonight. Says Alan. And yeah, hopefully you do enjoy the rest of your boating time in the Caribbean. And yeah, we might see you again next week for next weekend. It's 38-12. Yeah, they did get the extra kick over. We'll add the extra 2. Here we go. We will go like that. And we will go like that as well. So a decent kicking performance from the Blitzboks here too. Missing just the 2 kicks out of the 6 attempted in this scenario. And thanks, says Daryl. And South Africa says multi there. Next week is crazy for Rugby Sevens, URC, Stormers versus Bulls, and Super Rugby in Six Nations. Yep. And it's going to be brutal because I think we're going to be covering a majority of it. We might get to miss the first round of the Sevens because of the overlap with the Six Nations. Just checked you on at work, so good to hear the boys won, says LB. And not only did they win, they won it convincingly. In the end, they have made it through this competition undefeated. So the only side to be able to do that at Spain were defeated in their group stage by South Africa. So losing to the Box twice throughout this competition. But yeah, thank you all very much for tuning in. We've got 8 minutes till the next live stream. So be sure to tune in for that too. We'll see you all for the next one.